Shout out to everybody. We are back. You know what I mean? Thug life. We are thank y'all for all the subscribers. Shout out to y'all. Like, y'all was going crazy like in the last live. We ended up talking about entertainment, you know what I mean? I think before that I ended up talking about something about battle rap, and then before that it was politics. I'm right back to politics, you know, and right now I feel like I think we watched the lefties are losing it, you know, because it seems like there's a lot of confidence that seems to be waning. A lot of black voters are starting to speak out. They're upset, you know, at Obama's comments, and when he's trying to get people to feel bad and, you know, vote for somebody strictly off of the color of their skin instead of the content of their character. A lot of people have been speaking out, and people are continuing to speak out. But now you have like more of a divide, right? Because with the presidential election, you want to try to bring people together. At least that's what I thought you want to do in a presidential election, is bring people together, you know, and it's kind of hard to see that right now because we got, like I said, Obama saying what he's saying, right? And then you got Michelle Obama. She actually ended up doing like a speech, and it was more separation, right? And she's saying things like, yo, white folks, they have silver spoons and all of them are waiting for an escalator and they get it so much easier than everybody else. And there are times where they do have a leg up, and I'm just gonna keep it real with that, but not all of them have it like that, you know what I mean? So I don't know, they keep, you know, kind of trying to bully us into the vote, and people are speaking out. And now you have some women that are taking up Kamala Harris, you know what I mean? Like, they believe in her message, and they kind of going at black men, you know. So let's listen to this. Shout out to Anton Daniels, who ended up putting this up. He's a very good content creator. Shout out to him.
That Roland Martin interview just proved everything that we've been saying, that I said in my past videos about black men when it comes to their lack of just comprehension and understanding their place in society. Because they're too busy having oppression Olympics with black women competing with us, looking at we're the enemy, they fail to realize that you benefit from patriarchy. You do not have more of a struggle being a black man.
I swear to God, people be stealing my lines. Victim Olympics, oppression Olympics, and then they gonna try to act like I didn't make that up and I didn't make that famous. Anyways, let's let her continue to rock and whine out.
You actually have a benefit over black women because you are a man. Black men do not understand patriarchy and how to use it to their advantage. They're too busy making excuses and complaining. And the
shout out to Joker Dan. He said, get the likes up. Shout out to him.
Thing is, statistics and everything.
And people have to understand, I'm going crazy on YouTube right now. Thug life. You know what I mean? Shout out to Sugar Black. I appreciate you. She's, you know, Sugar Black is in every live, rocking with Sugar Black, right? Moderator, you know, respect Sugar Black. You said she sound better. Yeah. We are in a climb to 100,000 subscribers. I can't sit down and wait for 100,000 subscribers. I got to get out into the field. I got to start dropping videos. I got to start dropping content. You know what I'm saying? And the content that I like, some people like it, some people don't, but it seemed like a lot of people like it, and it's pushing the channel, right? Because I do want to get involved and talk about some things that I see politically, you know, and not everybody believes in the same thing, all right? And some guys are becoming some black males are conservatives, and I think a lot of times we're drowned out by the TYTs and you know what I mean, like a lot of these liberal platforms that are everywhere with millions and millions and millions of subscribers, right? So a lot of us, we do have opinions, and you know, shout out to people like Anton Daniels. He's just going hard with his opinion. He feels some type of way about different things, and he feels like getting his message out. It's not just him, it's other people too. You know, so shout out to everybody that feel like, you know, that they're tired of the last 4 years being how they were. They're not going to be bullied by The View. They're not going to be bullied by Barack Obama. Like, people ain't like, we ain't dealing with that no more. No, we have thoughts and feelings towards things.
Everything else shows.
And we need to talk and speak our piece. And a lot of us don't feel the same way that they think we feel about Trump. And we need to be putting that out there. I don't think Trump's like the big racist that people claim him to be. I don't. Some people do, some people don't, right? In the 90s, I think he was hanging with a lot of us. Like, he was. And there was a guy that we did a video on, I think it was like maybe 4 videos back, and he ended up breaking down a lot of the myths about Trump, basically showing that he was invited to the White House and how he met Trump. He didn't feel any inclination that, or any suspicion of him being that type of way. If anything, he felt like it was a lot of hospitality. So he ended up, and I don't even think that dude is conservative, but he ended up like debunking a lot of myths, about Donald Trump, or claims about Donald Trump. And I think he did a really good job. I think he was fair.
That you benefit more as a black man than a black woman. But it doesn't matter how simply people...
Yeah, exactly, Joker Dan. 90s Trump was outside. He was. And I think this lady is like upset and bitter. And that goes to... Bro, and let's keep it real, bro. This is going to sound messed up, bro. Not all black women, right? But a lot of black women do not like black men. They don't. And it's been incentivized for them not to have the man in the household. It has been. This is why, like, you're starting to see an influx. And I'm not about, I'm not against, interracial, dating and all that. Like, everybody do what they want to do. Like, I got a white girl, whatever, thug life. It is thug life. I had everything except Asian. If I ever get single again, I'm going Asian. Right? But men are becoming tired of this attitude that we have to deal with dealing with certain type of women. It is what it is. Not all black women are like this, but the majority of them think like Megan Thee Stallion. They think like Cardi B. I'm not going to submit to a man. And here this lady is trying to shame men because they don't want to vote for Kamala. It's what it is. This is why you see like a lot of white women popping up with black dudes. I'm sorry, Sugar Black. It is what it is. Thug life. People don't want to say it. It's the attitudes. Bro, I've had a lot of black girls in my life. It's the attitudes. Look at her. She got an attitude. Let's see how she gonna shame us.
That Roland Martin interview just proved everything that we've been saying, that I said in my past videos about black men when it comes to their lack of just comprehension and understanding.
What's that dude's name? That Kevin Samuels? I wish he was still alive, bro. I wish. Yo, like, y'all like really don't like us, bro. Like, this music has really turned. They cannot stand us, bro.
Their place in society. Because
except Sugar Black. Sugar Black is one of the exceptions.
Busy having oppression Olympics with black women competing with us, looking at we're the enemy, they fail to realize that you benefit from patriarchy. You do not have more of a struggle being a black man.
I swear to God, people be stealing my lines.
Do y'all think we are
victim Olympics, oppression Olympics,
and how to use it to their advantage? They're too busy making excuses and complaining. And the thing is, statistics and everything else shows that you benefit more as a black man than a black woman. But it doesn't matter how simply people break it down to them. Like, he had to talk to them like they were 5 for them to understand that they absolutely benefit more than black women. They're just not using the fucking resources and tools given to them. The fact that Magic Johnson and Obama and other like educated black men had to get on a platform and single y'all out on national television on these public platforms because y'all are out here making us look crazy.
Joker Dan said, bet she with a white man. Juwan Johnson said that division content is backfiring against Kamala.
fact that they have to explain to you why a man that wants to give immunity to cops that are killing y'all and y'all voting for him is crazy. That they have
We already broke that down.
to explain to y'all why you shouldn't want that. That people can
She doesn't even know qualified immunity doesn't apply if you break police policy. She just thinks qualified immunity means they could just do whatever they want and just nothing happens. I mean, it does seem like that, but if police policy is broken, they don't, like, qualified immunity doesn't apply to them. A congressman went on the Breakfast Club and put that out there.
break down to you why Trump is
And then Joker Dan says she won't talk about that, though.
not a better option for you. But your hate for black women, your self-hate.
No, you guys are so angry. You got different type of black women. You got super nice, super sweet black women. You got the reserve. You got your conservatives, but then you have the angry ones that cannot stand men, or they want to get anything and everything they can out of a man. And then they want to tell you what it is and emasculate you. Talk crazy to you. I don't see how y'all dudes be like, I don't see it, bro. I can't. Like some of them, yeah, but like when they get like this, ain't no way. Ain't no way, bro. Can you imagine being with her? Let's keep it real. Like her, specifically. I want like a Candace Owens. Like if I went like with a black girl, she have to be like a Candace Owens. Like super articulate. You know what I'm saying? Probably easier to get along with. This ain't cutting it. Like this, like that, I can't do that.
Is so strong that you're willing to put a man in office that wants to make you destitute, that wants to literally not have you exist or have any rights. You complain about police killing you, about how white people treat you in society, and you're giving them the fucking tools to continue to oppress you. What more do y'all want? It's
Listen to her mouth. Dropping the F-bomb. Like, come on, bro. Imagine when she get mad at you. That's why dudes be ending up in jail. Like, ain't no way. Somebody said, Levon said, what you mean if you... I got a white girl, thug life. If I go back, she gonna be like a Candace Owens.
so disappointing.
I cannot do this. This attitude, bro, by some people, like, it's ridiculous.
And it also shows that y'all are so poorly educated. Y'all are literally...
We're poorly educated. Listen to this woman. Listen to how these women put y'all down on a regular basis. Now, one of the reasons why it makes it easier for me to make my case is because I'm not one of those type of people and one of those guys that fit any of these narratives, and neither are any of my friends.
Hey, Shot, Levon, hit the subscribe button. Oh, you already subscribed. I mean, hit the like button if you can, man. I appreciate it.
That are very successful, successfully married, and they have employees, and they have women that work for them that also fall under their covering. And they are voting for Trump, and nobody in their sphere is voting for Kamala Harris. We don't care about Roland Martin being a part of the boule and them trying to get their Divine Nine friends in. We don't care how long Magic Johnson been friends with Kamala Harris. We don't care whether or not Obama, who was a bigger champion for the alphabet.
If y'all can, hit the super chat, man. Like, I appreciate that. Super chat and a Cash App. Cash App sign Piper Boy Williams. Hit it. Thug Life. Hit it now. Thug Life.
Community than he ever was for black people is telling us what to do. They're talking to us because they need us, and they're trying to enable us to get back on a Democratic plantation that has not worked out for anybody that is my hue since I've been born and I'm 42 years old. let me break this down for the people that may not know me. And again, I always like to give credit to the content creator. So you'll see that in the description of the video, a link back to their profile, whether I agree with them or not. And make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Also, T-Chanley, 40% off your first order plus online. I've been successfully married for over 20. Have a vested interest in it, and that's where the majority of his content is centered around. Because if he ever actually told y'all the truth about how the Democrats absolutely is keeping y'all tied to the party. And
Evelyn, don't come in here talking about Evelyn Ivy. Don't come in here and say I went to sleep too early. Now I'm up. I need to go to sleep. You're going to be up on this live. Thug life. You are not going to sleep. You're not allowed.
don't require anything from y'all, then it would cease to exist. His whole platform would explode because then people would be like, you know what? I was stupid for following him in the first place. I actually should give every representative an opportunity.
And then Levon said, I don't vote myself, but I always remember the Lyndon B. Johnson quote. I'll have those N-words voting Democrats for years. Exactly. Exactly.
And we don't have to look any further than to see exactly what happened over the last 3.5 years versus what happened over the last 7 years. And when we put that and we take that into consideration, it's a vast difference between the Democrats who have controlled the White House over the last 12 of 16 years.
Hey, Jawan, don't be coming in here like trying to flirt with Evelyn. He like, who Evelyn?
Versus what we've experienced over the last 3.5 years. It's insane. We had an unprecedented level of peace, growth, opportunity, and all of this immunity stuff. It just shows me how ignorant you are. And you need to do some research because it doesn't absolve police from being responsible.
She thinks she can come on here and be mad and it'll work. We were like, because you know, like, he probably got this video off of TikTok. Y'all be on TikTok simping for these girls, bro. Like, their heads be blowing up off of y'all simping. So she probably feels like she could just get in here and talk any type of way, and everybody gonna fall for it and be her little simp. Ridiculous.
For what it is that they do to citizens when they step outside of their normal training. It just makes sure that they're protected when they are within their normal training, and people try to come after the police department so that they don't have their personal assets seized. Mm-hmm. And so I listen to y'all, and it just shows me how ignorant and how out of purpose y'all are, because you're not supposed to be leading the charge and following behind a motherfucking Roland Martin. You're supposed to be leading the charge and following behind your
Hey, CJ the Legend, he's a subscriber. He said, she looks like a child support payment to me. Yo, what? Yo, yeah, she using shaming tactics. That's inappropriate for her.
Your man and your husband and your father. And we got so many simps that have stepped out of purpose.
See? You see what I'm saying? So many simps have stepped out of purpose.
And don't know how to lead properly. And so they think that they can get y'all attention by then aligning with y'all, when in reality, we know that the Democratic Party is nothing but the worst
thing. And let me be real with y'all. And this is me to be 100% real. You know why there's so many simps in America? And I know I've traveled like different countries and stuff like that, but America is bad. Like when I went to Geneva, what was it? Geneva, Switzerland. I went to Zurich, Switzerland. Men didn't pay women no attention, no mind. Right? Because they, you know, I don't know why, they just didn't. So like women are different. They're like, they want companionship and stuff like that. So they want somebody to pay attention to them. So they treat dudes differently from what I seen out there, right? Because I was just like, you know what I mean? Just sightseeing and just going off on my own and just people watching. So that's what I see, right? When I went to Italy, it was kind of like that too. It was just like, you know, people were really respectful to the men. So I don't know if it's because men may have more options there, and that's why they, you know, women are like, it seems like desperate to have a man there. So that's why you get travel bros and stuff like that. And I'm gonna tell y'all this, that travel bro stuff is real. It's real. Thug life. It is. All right. In America, women do not like men. I'll say it again. And I don't care how you take it, who you are, they don't. You know what I mean? So they, for the most part, they don't. The way to make a woman mad in America is to tell her she's beautiful. Except Sugar Black. Shout out to Sugar Black. Thug Life. I've seen dudes be super nice to women and they be mean to them. And go after the football jock that doesn't pay them no attention. Or they want the guy that doesn't pay them no attention. That's like the American way, like with women. The quickest way to make an American woman mad, doesn't matter what race, is to tell her she's beautiful. That's how a lot of them are. You know what I mean? And I think it's the culture, it's the music that's gotten them to the point to where they want to be men. So you even see it, like, if you watch The View. Like, it's like anti-man, allegedly. Thug life. Like I said, they rich. It's like anti-man. The music is anti-man. You might have a few artists that's like pro, you know what I mean, relationships and stuff like that. But for the most part, it's all about breaking up. It's all about getting rid of your man. It's all about getting what you can get. It's all about getting a Birkin. And that's it. You know what I mean? Or trapping somebody and getting a big bag in child support. That's what it's been in America. So with the climate of America being the way it is, like, I mean, you can even see it on TikTok, like all the women that are anti-men. You be seeing like women, like, you know, they go to the gym, they'll set up their cameras, you know what I mean? Be like half nothing on, bringing all kind of attention to themselves. And then the dude will walk by and look, they're like, oh, see, I can't even go to the gym. The Me Too movement. Like, women in America do not, I don't care what anybody says. Like, you know what I mean? I'm in a fortunate situation, right? I got a little bit of bread. So having a little bit of bread, I got nice cars. I can tell, like, how, you know what I mean? Like, cause like I was just out like recently. It was like a bar or something like that. And I was just out chilling. And mind you, like, I got a girl, I'm not even looking for nobody. I was talking to some dude, and we was talking about something sports related, right? And he's talking to her and like telling her like all, like how beautiful she is or whatever. And she was not receptive to dude at all. He was like real respectful. I mean, this dude got money and, you know, all that, but she wasn't receptive to him at all, right? So we go out at a bar, and at the bar, it's got like, I don't know what you call it, but it's like a sitting area outside of the bar. And I paid this girl no mind, right? And like I was looking even like more reckless than I am now. Like, you know what I mean? Not caring nothing. Didn't pay this girl no mind. And my wallet, my credit card slipped out of my wallet when I was getting out of the car. So I told, you know what I mean? Like, so I told dude, I'm like, yo, I'm about to go back to my car. Man, I left my credit card in the car. So I went and got my credit card out the car. I got a Tesla. So when I get back, you see what I'm saying? Because there's a bunch of dudes coming, you know what I mean? We about to like chill or whatever. So I get back and she's like, that's your car? I'm like, yeah. She's like, can I see it? I'm like, oh, it's right there. Can I get a ride? I'm like, nah, I can't really do that. Not paying her no mind. You know what I'm saying? And we talk about like something going on with sports. And so we back in the comment. I'm paying this girl no mind. This dude is like telling me, he's like, yo, I think I'm about to get this girl. And I'm thinking in my mind, bro, like, you ain't getting a hit. Like, she don't like you. She wanted to go after me. It wasn't before she seen the car. It was when she seen the car. And I'm like, yo, you know, in my mind, I'm like, oh, you one of them. I couldn't get this girl away from me. And I wasn't paying her any mind. I'm not the best looking guy. It was the car. Thug life. It's what it is. You even see it like content creators that be pranking people and stuff. It'd be like dudes be trying to get with a girl and she be ignoring them, and then he gets into his Lamborghini and then she want to come over and talk to him. It'd be stuff like that, bro. I'm telling these women, bro, like they are looking for the bigger, better deal, whatever they can get. A lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them. So like, I think American culture is just messed up. So you get women like, so guys don't have a lot to choose from because they're dealing with a lot of women that don't want men. So they get thirsty. They go on these sites, TikTok, and they blow these girls' heads up. And they probably looking and thinking, these fools. And they getting all these like galaxies and hearts and all this like emoji gifts. They even got smart and they doing OF. There's people talking about they make $50,000 a month. Dudes is simping out here. They will do anything and simp for a girl because it's harder to get them in America. They want to be men. Thug life. So I don't know, man. She talking about weird, like, yo, I think black men is dealing with a different struggle with dealing with y'all. A lot of times. That's why guys are just like, forget it. Like, I'm going with a white girl. A Latin girl. It's what it is, bro. It's the attitude. People do not want to deal with that.
Thing for us and always has been. Every single policy.
And then CJ the Legend, I'm not saying it. He said, and a lot of the women are black. I'm just saying what it is, bro. Like, have you ever been like, you ever been at work and hear how women talk? Oh man, yeah, he is like, he's dumb. I'm about to tell him I'm going to my aunt's house, and then like we can go to the concert. Talking to her girlfriends. Like that, bro. I'm telling you, like these women are something else. And then the dude would be on the phone with her, like, all right, I love you, baby. Like I took the dog out and all. And she's like, yeah, all right. Then she going on Facebook looking at her crush with her friends after she get off the phone. There's some dude that ain't paying her no mind, that probably ain't got no job. This is how these women are in America, bro. I'm telling you. It's wild. I was sitting, and I'll never forget, bro. I was at, it was like, I think it's called Carrabba's. It's like in Brentwood. I'm sitting there eating. And this lady, she actually older. She was like an older woman. She's with her husband. She had kids and everything. And you could tell he was like, you know, family oriented. And she was attractive. She was like really, she was like thicker though. She was like, you know what I mean? Like how black dudes, like we like thick women. She wasn't fat. She was like just thick, like in all the right places, right? So, you know, black dudes would probably be trying to get her, right? But she would like a Poindexter or whatever, right? And she looking at me while I'm eating. And I'm just like looking up, like, is she for real? Like, and she really, he gets up and goes to the bathroom and she winks. I'm like, thug life. This dude probably married to her, got kids with her, sacrificed, probably bought her car. You know what I'm saying? Like, this how they be, bruh. Like, you cannot trust nobody out here, especially in America. So I don't know, bruh. You know what I mean? You can't trust them. Then it's hard to get them for some people. You know what I mean? But I just like, I'm to the point, like, I got one girl, that's all I want. Because I cannot imagine playing games and trying to get a woman, and you got women out here like this shaming you for your opinion. Don't want to compromise. Want to tell you what it is. Like, nah, bro. I'm not about to do that.
See, every single thing that they believe in goes against the very conservative values of us even believing in God. Let's not even talk about economic policy. We don't even have to go to immigration because we already know that you being replaced. And so because y'all don't listen to us and y'all so busy trying to get a woman elected based off of identity politics And the only thing that you can lean on is that I don't like Trump versus what has she done for you and what would she do differently than she's already done within the last 3.5 years? Nothing. And she even admitted it. She openly admitted it that she would be no different than Biden, and y'all still riding out the wave. Why? Because y'all want to get y'all homegirl elected?
Man, she getting on my nerves, bro. Like, I ain't about to, she about to make me go in, bro. I ain't got time. She getting on my nerves. So Kamala responds to Obama's remarks. Kamala Harris responds to Obama shaming black men.
Vice President Kamala Harris was recently asked about President Barack Obama's attempt at shaming black men into voting for her. Let's talk about it. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Vice President Kamala Harris interviewing with the Shade Room in a very long sit down for her, 24 minutes. That's kind of a marathon. But at a certain point in the interview, they addressed the now infamous viral comments from Barack Obama, where he attempted, keyword, attempted to shame black men into voting for her. I guess the 80, 85, 90% rate that black folks vote for the Democrats isn't enough. We also need more turnout because a lot of us are staying home because we're not really inspired by Kamala. Now, in case you forgot his words, let's watch that right quick. Then we're going to get into her response.
We have not yet seen the same kinds of energy and turnout in all quarters of our neighborhoods and communities as we saw when I was running. Now, I also want to say that that seems to be more pronounced with the brothers.
Yeah, Sugar Block. Subscribe. Appreciate y'all. Some people are subscribing. Shout out to y'all that subscribed and new people. I rock with y'all. Shout out to y'all.
Those comments
hit the like button if y'all can. That pushes the video out. If y'all can't, you know what I mean?
Still have me heated. I'm talking about I am furious. If I was a white guy, I'd be fire truck red right now.
I would too. Like, this is insane.
In front of you on the television screen or on your phone screen or however you're watching me, I would be completely fire truck red because it's infuriating. It's like, how are you going to try to shame me rather than giving me policy, rather than giving me real reasons why I want to vote for her? The same as anybody else in this country. I don't like this whole singling out black men. You're not going to single out the white man or the Asian man or the Jewish man. You're not going to do that. But for me, I get singled out. Don't like it. Now, she was asked about this, and this is on the Shade Room. This is like
Unknown said, definitely it's bias and forever for women. And then Conific said she's going to empower black gentlemen. How exactly do you do that without trampling equality even more? And what power do black men need that they don't already have?
Like a urban type of blog. I will link to this full thing in the box if you want to see it and hear it without my commentary for some reason. But let's watch this and we're going to see what she said. Check it out.
So my question to you is, do you think that what President Obama said was the right thing to say?
Let me tell you, I am very proud to have the support of President Obama and that he is out traveling to talk with voters about what is at stake in this election. I'm very proud to have his support.
This answer, you know, I grew up in a middle class family. That's kind of what it is right now. I'm not really seeing an answer to the question. So let's see after this breath if she's going to answer the question or if it's going to be more word salad trying to not answer the question.
What is also important is, one, to understand, like as I said, I intend to earn the vote of everyone, including black men. Two, pay attention to everything that President Obama talked about, because he also talked about at length the danger of Donald Trump. The danger of Donald Trump in terms of somebody who has said that they would weaponize the Department of Justice against.
Okay.
That's what y'all did to Trump. Thug life. We not about to let her get away with this. Sugar Black, we not letting her get away with this. What did they just do? They just took him to court to get him hooked on felonies, thinking that voters wouldn't vote for him after they did that. So what is she saying? They literally weaponized the Department of Justice. There's no way she just said that. No way she just said that.
So the question was about Barack Obama shaming black men, shaming me, me and people that look like me.
Shout out to LVR Live, said, I'm Australian and I don't understand how people can vote for a political party that was run by a geriatric and now a vindictive liar.
That's who you were shaming, but now somehow we've gotten into Donald Trump and the dangers of Trump. Okay, we've already established that you feel that way. Okay, we got it. Cool. But what about what he's asking? Do we have anything for that or no?
Against his political enemies. Somebody who has referred to black immigrants in Springfield, Ohio, legal immigrants, as though they would eat their pets, constantly perpetuating tropes. Remember,
like if you don't know whether you vote for me or for Trump, you ain't black. Who said that? Was that Trump that said that?
Oh man, I thought Biden said that. Kamala.
Or was it your man that said that? No smoke for him.
Who, Donald Trump, who said in Charlottesville,
"Get her, Anthony, get her." Don't let her get away with this thug life.
there are good people on each side.
Oh my goodness, stop it.
So
Kamala.
I think it's really
He can't shout out.
important to focus on the stakes of this election, and there are two choices. And I ask everyone to look at the background, look at the work, look at the words, to have a sense of how you then choose to use the power of your vote on Election Day. But there is a very big difference between Donald Trump and how I will be president of the United States. And I cannot impress upon people.
My bad, y'all. I just turned it to subscribers only because the comments start going so fast if I don't do that. So shout out to y'all.
People enough that this is somebody, Donald Trump, who intends to take us backward. Look, this man won't even debate me a second time. He won't even debate me a second time. He didn't do the 60 Minutes interview.
But you know the reason why they keep talking about Donald Trump? They have nothing else. All they got, Orange Man bad, Trump did this, Trump did that. Mm-hmm. When it comes to real things and answering real questions, they have nothing.
Mm-hmm.
One more thing I want to ask you before you go, and I think it's the fun part. I want to ask you about your plan for black men.
Yes.
It's something huge
Yes.
that you have just released this
Yes.
week. We're talking about 1 million loans that are fully forgivable up to $20,000
Right.
to black entrepreneurs, men and women,
Yes.
correct? Expanding access to bank accounts, expanding the child tax credit. Many things that you're
Housing.
doing.
Don't
Housing,
forget my housing.
lowering rent, making it affordable to buy a house for
Yes.
first-time home buyers.
Correct.
Talk to me about this
Yes.
plan, just in
Yeah.
summary,
Yeah, how can she do that?
and how this will impact not only black men, but all black people.
Sure.
Yeah, she's interviewing on Fox News. I cannot wait, bro. I might call out of work.
So look, I grew up in the middle class.
Oh my God, really, Kamala?
Kamala!
Kamala!
No, she did not, y'all. She did it again. She did it again. Thug life. She did it again. No, she. Look at her face. She did it again. She is wildin'. No, bruh. I grew up in the middle class line. Stop, Kamala.
Black men, but all black people.
Sure. So look, I grew up in the middle class.
Oh my God, really, Kamala? Kamala, stop. Look, they had a whole SNL skit where they said that exact same line. They should tell you, when I say they, I mean your handlers, stop saying that.
Yeah.
Stop it. This is crazy. Kamala.
Yo, Anthony, she will not stop doing this.
My mother worked hard.
Oh
She saved-
my God, Kamala! She went to my mother worked. Oh my, come on. Look at Anthony, bro. This is crazy. Wait a minute. She is wildin', bro.
Saved up, and by the time
I would pay any dollar amount in the world to see Justin's reaction when she said that line. Oh my goodness.
Yo.
was a teenager, she was able to buy our first home.
Look at Justin. He's a funny guy. His faces are hilarious. Shout out to Justin.
We'll never forget where I came from. Okay, by the way, my opponent, Donald Trump, was handed $400 million basically on a silver platter and filed for bankruptcy.
She literally not even answering the question. How are you gonna do this plan? Like, what is you doing?
6 times. So just keep
Was it 400 million? I thought it was a small loan of $1 million. I didn't know it was 400 million. That number keep getting bigger and bigger, don't it?
that in mind.
Somebody said she was on the cooking show with actress Mindy and said she agreed she was Indian on there. Yeah, I seen that too. Benzo, newly subscribed, but been catching the live streams. Keep it up. I appreciate you, bro.
About who's coming from where.
And then LVR says, strange fact, she has zero intelligence, conversation, zero competence. She obviously has zero understanding of what the middle class is and that there is people below middle class. Yeah. She not even like, she's out of touch, and that's what Charlamagne is saying. She lies so much, Linda said. This is crazy. Caleb said, if she can be president, I can.
I know the ambitions, the aspirations.
Look, the question was about your plan for black men, about the loans and the tax credits, and you're going to tell us how to get money and how to manipulate the government, I suppose. That's what you're supposed to be doing. But here you're talking about, I'm a small town girl, orange man bad. That ain't the question, lady.
The incredible work ethic that exists in our community. I know the dreams that exist, but not everyone has started out on the same base in terms of being able to realize their goals and their dreams. So
Linda said she hasn't done anything for the past almost 4 years. So why would it change if she becomes president? Like, what they should be doing is like doing things to say, oh, right now we did this, and right now we did that, and then in the future we're going to do a lot more. Like, they literally did nothing for 4 years. This used to fly with the Democratic Party. People don't, like, if you go back and you watch Obama's speeches, Obama said a lot of nothing. He just like preached hope. That's all he did. And then he had like this, like, not similar sound bites to her, but he had the same sound bites over and over again. I went back and watched some of his speeches, and I'm like, he was a very good speaker, but like he didn't offer anything. It was just hope, you know, and it was a grassroots movement. The social media was liberally controlled, you know, so he was basically a shoo-in. You had Facebook. Now you got Facebook and, you know, Instagram, you know, but now you got Elon Musk in a play. So you got Twitter. So people are starting to be free thinkers, and you're not going to be suspended on platforms just because you're a Republican. So now it's a little bit different. And like even YouTube, they're more lenient. So before, you know, I'm not going to say anything about YouTube, but a lot of these companies, you know, if you were a Republican, they were demonetizing you, that you were getting threatened. You know what I'm saying? You have all kind of stuff under your videos. Now it's kind of just like people are more open to, you know, people being able to say what they want and what they feel.
my plan is to build what I call an opportunity economy, which means
She's dodging the question. I hope he redirects her.
giving people an opportunity to actually achieve those ambitions, those goals, and those dreams. So, for example, housing is too expensive.
Okay.
I like that she said that. Shout out to you, Kamala. I like that she just said that. Housing is too expensive. I like that.
Plan is to build what I call an opportunity economy, which means giving people an opportunity to actually achieve those ambitions, those goals, and those dreams. So, for example, housing is too expensive.
Okay, so I'm not really seeing much here. Again, I know I'm cutting it, but it's like 20-something minutes long. I will link to the whole thing. You can see this entire video right here from the Shade Room. TSR investigates. Shout out to Justin. Shout out to Shade Room and Kamala. Hey man, it's not. Listen, come November, you can stop doing all this. You ain't got to worry about it. You don't got to worry about trying to say words properly.
But she did like go on a tangent for like 2 minutes before she just got to housing is too expensive. Let's see. Kamala Harris's unhinged media blitz backfires as latest polls.
Fresh polls are in, and it's bad news for Kamala Harris. Take a look at the latest polls and the fallout from Kamala Harris's disastrous media blitz.
Yo, they be
is declining. Let's look at the latest. Closer to the finish line, it's clear that Donald Trump is gaining support, and Kamala Harris, well, her popularity is declining. Let's look at the latest NBC News poll. It has Donald Trump and Kamala Harris both receiving 48% support from registered voters, and 4% say that they're undecided. This latest poll is certainly enough to have the Harris campaign very nervous. September's NBC News poll.
Hit the subscribe, Thug Life. What y'all doing? There's a lot of people in here. Hit subscribe. We need to get like 100,000 subscribers. What y'all doing? Y'all trying to play me, bro?
Harris leading Trump by 5 points. So what's changed? Well, Kamala Harris has done a media blitz, and it appears the more that people have been able to see of her, they're going, oh, actually, no, thank you. No, thanks.
And even fresh CNN polling confirms the Democrats' worst fears.
We have some new CNN reporting today about what is going on behind the scenes inside the Harris campaign and more broadly among Democrats who are growing more and more anxious about a 2016 redux. CNN's Priscilla Alvarez joins me now. Priscilla, we were just joking here at the table that anxious Democrats happen on a day that ends in Y, but this is something that perhaps is warranted.
And again, another CNN host was flabbergasted with polling that suggests Donald Trump is winning when it comes to the black male vote.
And sometimes there's a trend line that I never noticed before and make me go, whoa. This is one of them, all right? This is the Democratic.
Wow. Look at that.
Margin among black men under the age of 45 in presidential elections. You go back to November of 2012, what do you see? You see Obama by 81. Clinton only won him by 63. Then we're all the way down to Biden last time around by 53. A tremendous drop already. And then you take a look at the average of the most recent polls, and Kamala Harris is up by only 41 points. That is about half the margin that Obama won.
And this is fake news, CNN. Fake news. They finally giving some real news. Wow. All right.
By back in November of 2012. And this, I think, is, when Barack Obama goes in last week when he was in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, essentially talking to young black men, he made it seem like it was
Lascally Wobbit said Texans for Trump.
It's a Kamala Harris specific problem. This is part of.
Hey, J Pitt City, she's not directly answering questions. She didn't answer any questions. She just does run on sentences, goes back to she grew up in a small town. That's what she does, man. That's her MO.
A long-standing trend of young black men moving away from the Democratic Party, and Kamala Harris is just the latest to face that magnitude of younger black men going towards the Republicans.
That was most interesting here is the trend line and where some of the biggest drops happened or already happened in this case. How about black men overall?
How about black men overall? It's part of the same picture, We're looking once again at younger black men. It looks like the worst Democratic performance since 1960, since JFK versus Richard Nixon. It's the same thing among black men overall.
Daily Wire host Ben Shapiro doubled down on this, saying the brat has worn off for Kamala Harris, and that is reflecting.
This is insane.
Now it's time.
All right, so this my girl, bro. I turned my mic up a little bit. This my girl, bro. Like, I rock with Rita, bro. Have y'all seen her? This is my girl, bruh. She be smoking on a Kamala pack. I like her, man.
Time for Lefties Losing It. We've got a celebrity extravaganza coming up, but first to Gwen Walls, the wife of Tim Walls. You'll remember her.
Bye-bye, Donald Trump.
She's terrifying. Well,
Yo, she be cracking me up, bruh. She's like, yo, she's terrifying. She is hilarious, bruh. Yes, I got a crush. Thug life. It is what it is.
You have losing it. We've got a celebrity extravaganza coming.
You said she's lit. Yeah, I like her, man. And like, if I see her, it's an immediate clip. Y'all know, like, it's immediate. She just funny, bro. Like, and she's witty. There's like no lag with her. Like, she catches everything. Like, I rock with her, bro.
Up, but first to Gwen Walls, the wife of Tim Walls. You'll remember her.
Bye-bye, Donald Trump.
She's terrifying. Well, listen to her here order people to take 3 friends with them to the polling booth.
I need you to take yourself and 3 friends to the ballot box and make your voice heard. You have to vote. I'm going to repeat that again. You and 3 of your friends have to make your voices heard by voting.
Okay, I'm just grateful that she stopped turning the page and stopped singing.
We will all stand up and cheer. To the other team will never yield, and we won't forget we're here. We will fight for victory.
Weird, just weird. And if you want to know just how weird this couple is on this...
Yo, she been clipping them. Yo, and she like, Matt, you said love Rita. Nah, bro, we ain't saying nothing bad about Rita, bro. I like Rita, bro. That's my girl, bro. She'll clip you like so professionally, and then she moves right on, bro. I like her, bro. I think she need to be on SNL. Is she on? I don't watch SNL. I used to. She need to be on there, bro. Like, she is lit.
We will fight for victory.
Weird, just weird. And if you want to know just how weird this couple is on this Columbus Day, let's take a look at what Governor Tim Walz said back in 2020 when far-left activists tore down a statue of Columbus. Let's look at the destruction first. This is how Governor Walz reacted. Not condemnation, not even mild criticism, but he defended the leftist extremists destroying monuments.
She's on Sky News Australia. Her name is Rita. I can't remember her last. Let me look it up for you.
He said they had legitimate concerns about a genocidal monument.
It was an act of civil disobedience that we need to make sure people feel that there is a proper outlet to address what are
her name is Rita Panahi. Panahi. She is hilarious, bro.
Mild criticism, but he defended the leftist extremists destroying monuments. He said they had legitimate concerns about a genocidal monument.
It was an act of civil disobedience that we need to make sure people feel that there is a proper outlet to address what are legitimate concerns around what they view as a genocidal monument that they have to walk to in their democracy.
You want this character anywhere near the White House? Are you nuts? Now, yesterday we mocked Tim Walz's attempts to play the macho man gun enthusiast. That whole thing was frankly beyond parody, but Kamala's antics are being parodied on Saturday Night Live. Here she is playing. You know the Democrats are getting desperate when they pull out the celebrity card. Last week we brought you vision of Bruce Springsteen embarrassing himself with publicly airing his TDS symptoms, Trump derangement syndrome symptoms. It was unedifying. And I regret to inform you that John Bon Jovi is also similarly afflicted, and even worse, he has written a song about it all. He tweeted that he is voting for Harris and Walz, and this is the aforementioned song. Brace yourself, the cringe is extreme.
I can't play this because of copyright.
Said this outrageous lie without laughing out loud.
I'm looking at these beautiful faces, these women, and at these strong men. God, is there anything sexier than a man who is like men for Kamala? But you are the front line of this battle, for lack of a better word.
Is there anything sexier than men for Kamala? Yes, Everything is sexier than dudes for Kamala. Are you kidding me? Now let's get more daft celebrity endorsements delivered in cringe fashion. Here is Kerry Washington along with John Legend and his wife Chrissy Teigen. That's the model who was exposed for sending the most vile trolling comments to teenagers, including telling one to kill herself. Happily, those episodes are well behind her. Now she's producing content like this.
I honestly, genuinely, fully, 100% sincerely believe that this is going to change people's lives.
And what is Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer up to these days?
Love you, I do. Need you, no matter what I do.
Insult the people of Detroit. So keep Detroit out of your mouth, Donald Trump. In the words of Aretha.
Somebody said, I can't believe I once liked Jennifer. Bro, she don't even, let me shut up. These women they're only using y'all simps to vote for Kamala.
Show Detroiters a little respect.
Keep Detroit out of your mouth, Donald Trump. Dear me. Now, this is a masterclass in how to handle the Democrats' propaganda arm, the leftist losing it activists in the media. Here is J.D. Vance on ABC.
The incidents were limited to a handful of apartment complexes, and the mayor said our dedicated police officers have acted on those concerns. A handful of problems.
Only, Martha, do you hear yourself? Only a handful of apartment complexes in America were taken over by Venezuelan gangs, and Donald Trump is the problem and not Kamala Harris's open border? Americans are so fed up with what's going on, and they have every right to be. And I really find this exchange, Martha, sort of interesting because you seem to be more focused with nitpicking everything that Donald Trump has said rather than acknowledging that apartment complexes in the United States of America are being taken over by violent gangs.
Yeah, just a few apartment complexes, nothing to worry about. And here is J.D. Vance with New York Times reporter Lulu Garcia Navarro, who claims that...
You see what I'm saying, Lily? The lady was trying to say it's only a few apartment complexes overran by Venezuelan gangs. It's not that big of a deal. A handful of apartment complexes. Like, what? If I was J.D. Vance, I mean, I think he did it. He handled it right.
You can't deport all these illegal immigrants because they work in construction and we need more houses than ever. I wonder if she was against abolishing slavery too. J.D. Vance treated her questions with the disdain they deserve.
I don't think that many people who look into this agree with you, but about a third of the construction workforce in this country is Hispanic. Of those, a large proportion are undocumented. So how do you propose to build all the housing necessary that we need in this country by removing all the people who are working in construction?
Well, I think it's a fair question because we know that back in the 1960s when we had very low levels of illegal immigration, Americans didn't buy houses, didn't build houses. But of course they did. And I'm being sarcastic, of course, in service of a point. Again, this is one of the really deranged things that I think illegal immigration does to our society is it gets us in a mindset of saying we can only build houses with illegal immigrants when we have 7 million, just men, not even women, just men who have completely dropped out of the labor force. People say, well, Americans won't do those jobs. Americans won't do those jobs for below the table wages.
Joining me now is Newsweek senior editor-at-large Josh Hammer. Josh, let's have a listen to the Harris campaign's latest strategy, and it's out there. Apparently, the Republicans are hiding Donald Trump.
Here's the thing. It makes you wonder. Why does his staff want him to hide away? One must question, are they afraid that people will see that he is too weak and unstable?
Oh, yes, one must wonder, Josh. One must wonder. It's such a bizarre line. I don't know if it's going to work with the undecided voters, but it's hard to think of a candidate that's more out there than Donald Trump. He's everywhere. He's on every podcast. He's doing every interview. He's doing press conferences.
She's really good, like making sure there's no dead air. I like her, bro.
Takeaway shops. Like he's just questioned and talking every day.
Yeah, I believe that this is what psychiatrists call projection. You know, I didn't study psychiatry in law school or in grad school or whatever, but I mean, this is a clear and obvious case of psychiatric or psychological projection, is not. Kamala Harris is the one who only recently started to change her media strategy a little bit. But by the way, don't call it a media blitz, because she's just doing left-wing echo chamber interviews. Although albeit this week she's changing a little bit. She actually just announced she's doing a sit-down interview with Brett Baer of Fox News. Apparently the latest scuttlebutt is that she's also considering a potentially 3-hour-long sit-down with Joe Rogan, the very popular Austin, Texas-based podcast.
What? She about to sit down with Joe Rogan, bruh? He probably won't press her on it. He'll probably just like, the thing I do like about Joe Rogan, like being real, like he tries to be down the middle. Like even if he's conservative, he's not going to treat her any differently, I don't think. You know, so shout out to him. Shout out to Joe Rogan, man. Hopefully he ends up getting an interview with her. As far as I think Wednesday or something like that, I'm hearing she's supposed to do an interview with Fox News. I cannot wait to see this, bro.
Podcaster. I can't imagine how bad her internal polling is that she's agreeing to a sit-down interview with Brett Baer of Fox News and potentially 3 hours. God help us if we actually sit
Hit the subscribe button. Stop playing with me, Thug Life. Do it. It's right there at the top. You acting like you don't know how to subscribe. We got like 20,000 views in this video. It's right there. Hit it.
Those full 3 hours with Joe Rogan. Kamala Harris is not in good shape. I mean, this has
I like her, bro.
All of the indications of a campaign that is currently going down the toilet. She is losing momentum at the exact worst time possible. All of the polling is shifting Donald Trump's way right now. She peaked a little bit too early. They had that bump after the coup of Joe Biden leading up to the.
Now it's time for Lefties Losing It, and we can't go too long on this program without some input from the ladies of The View. Here is some awful advice from Joy Behar. Not just awful, but full of lies.
I would say to those Republicans out there who are sitting on the fence, just do it this one time. Do it this one time. Vote for the Democrat to save the country. Listen to Liz Cheney. When everything goes back to normal, then become a Republican again, like Alyssa will become, and probably
Listen to Liz Cheney. That's their big sell. So Joy wants Republicans to not back Trump, not back their man in the most consequential election of their lifetime. And she promises that it'll all be back to normal after this, that they won't go on these unhinged attacks against future Republican candidates. Only I'm old enough to remember when they called milquetoast Mitt Romney a racist, sexist monster. They did the same with Rhino John McCain. They've been doing the same with Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, and you know they're going to double down when he's the presidential candidate. So thanks for the advice, Joy, but I reckon Republicans are not going to let unhinged far-left fright bats pick their candidates for them. As for listening to Liz Cheney, a reminder that Republicans dumped her, and comprehensively, as you can see there.
I'm glad she said that because people are trying to ignore that.
She's about as popular with Republicans as an Antifa activist. Now to a woman who may even be too crazy for The View, and that's saying something. Here is Democrat strategist Aisha Mills resorting to dangerous lies about President Trump. And despite 2 assassination attempts in 2 months against Donald Trump, CNN saw fit to put this dangerous lefty spouting reckless lies on television.
We have long known that Donald Trump has revered the Nazis. He has revered Hitler. He's read his book. He used to say he had it on his nightstand.
Say what now? Donald Trump reveres Hitler? He said he has Hitler's book on his nightstand. Trump has never said anything like that. He has, in fact, said he's never even read Hitler's book. And let's not forget, Trump is the most pro-Jewish, most pro-Israel president America has ever had. His own daughter is Jewish, as are several of his grandchildren. But let's go back to CNN and listen to this woman spew more unhinged lies, unchallenged.
Donald Trump has had a very sinister philosophy, wanting to be a dictator, absolutely dividing people up based on who they are, based on factors about them that have to do with their race and their gender, etc. And when he uses language like this, I don't think that it's a Freudian slip. I think that the danger of a Donald Trump is that he would absolutely try to exterminate an entire group of people because he thinks that their genes are somehow different than his and faulty. And I say this with all the sternness that you hear in my voice.
Exterminate a whole group of people. That was on CNN, folks. Lost for words. Now, since we're dealing with bold-faced lies, let's hear from Kamala herself and listen to how she flounders when there is the slightest bit of pushback.
Yo, lefties are losing it for real, bro. That's insane for them to say something like that. Yeah, total lies, fake news.
The question was, how are you going to pay for it?
Well, one of the things is I'm going to make sure that the richest among us who can afford it pay their fair share in taxes. It is not right that teachers and nurses and firefighters are paying a higher tax rate than billionaires and the biggest corporations. And I plan on making that fair.
Say what now? Teachers are paying higher tax rates than the super rich? Really? I know this type of simplistic class warfare speaks to the low information voters that the Democrats count on, but the reality is that the rich pay, obviously, a lot more tax. The top 1%, in fact, pay over 45% of all income tax. And the top 5% pay 65.6% of all income tax collected. That's from the 2021 IRS data. So I'm sure they know what they're talking about. Imagine how Kamala would go in a hostile interview.
What dishonest Democrat tries to...
I'd like to raise a point of order.
Gentlelady can say her point of order.
Point of order pursuant to House Rule 11, Clause 2, which Mr. Kennedy is violative of. I move that we remove into executive session because Mr. Kennedy has repeatedly made...
It says dishonest Democrat tries to censor and slander Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
despicable anti-Semitic and anti-Asian comments as recently as last week. Rule 11, Clause 2 says, whenever it is asserted by a member of the committee that the evidence or testimony at a hearing may tend to defame, degrade, or incriminate any person, or it is asserted by a witness that the evidence or testimony that the witness would give at a hearing may tend to defame, degrade, or incriminate the witness, and it goes on. Mr. Kennedy, among many other things, has said, I know a lot now about bioweapons. We put out hundreds of millions of dollars into ethnically targeted microbes. The Chinese have done the same thing. In fact, COVID-19, there is an argument that it is ethnically targeted. COVID-19 attacks certain races disproportionately. The races that are most immune to COVID-19 are...
Lady making a motion or a speech?
I've made a motion to move into executive session because Mr. Kennedy's testimony...
Mr. Chairman, I
and
move
his
to table
previous
the motion.
statements...
The gentleman from Kentucky has moved to table.
They are so upset with him for like switching up on them.
Mr. Chairman, I ask for a roll call vote on the motion to table.
Well, let me ask the question. The question is on the motion to table. The gentlelady has asked for a roll call vote. The clerk will have to step back for a second. The clerk will have to come in. We'll call the roll on the motion to table, and then we can get back to testimony.
I think the witnesses can sit in the chairs sitting behind.
I'll leave that up to the clerks. If the clerks are comfortable with that. Yeah, why don't we do that? Maybe we can go right down here.
Mr. Chairman, point of order.
Gentleman from Louisiana.
Is it the custom of this committee to censor viewpoints that we disagree with from witnesses?
Mr. Chairman, I have
Yeah, that's like messed up, man.
Point of order.
I have a motion on the table.
There's a motion and the vote's been
Move into
called.
executive session.
We're waiting for the clerks.
Is violative of Rule 11, Clause 2.
Waiting for the clerks. Clerk will call the roll. Clerk will report.
Mr. Chairman, there are 10 ayes and 8 noes.
Robert Kennedy is still fighting for all of this after all these years. It's amazing, man.
Motion to table is agreed to. The chair now recognizes the gentlelady from Florida, Ms. Wasserman-Schultz.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, we respectfully requested that you rescind Mr. Kennedy's invitation to appear here due to his repeated and very recent statements that spread dangerous anti-Semitic and anti-Asian conspiracy theories and attempted to move into executive session because House rules prohibit public testimony that degrades or defames people. His reckless rhetoric helped fuel anti-Semitic incidents, which for the record are at the highest level in the United States since 1970. They have nearly tripled in the last 6 years. Since you gave Mr. Kennedy a megaphone today, I want to give him a chance to correct his statements and prepare some of the harm that he's helped cause. Mr. Kennedy, you're well educated, so yes or no, please. Are you aware that for centuries Jews have been scapegoated and blamed for causing illnesses like Black Plague and more recently COVID?
I am. Those are known as blood libel, and they are one of the worst and most disturbing parts of human history.
Good. I'm glad to know that, of course, that you acknowledge that. Of course, it's true and well documented that this pernicious form of anti-Semitism led to centuries of discrimination, even horrific pogroms and massacres, and it still fuels deadly violence today. Yet last week, you floated a baseless conspiracy theory that the coronavirus was bioengineered to target Caucasians and Black people, but to spare Ashkenazi Jews and Chinese people. Mr. Kennedy, your bizarre, unproven claim echoes that same historic slander of labeling Jews and Chinese people as a race, and that Jews, and in this case Chinese people, somehow managed to avoid a deadly illness that targets other groups for death. You do see that, yes or no?
You're misstating.
No. I quoted what you said earlier, and it is directly what you said. So
wow, like they're supposed to sit there and attack him? That's ridiculous, man. This country is getting crazy.
just ask me yes or no.
I was describing an NIH-funded study.
No, you didn't cite any.
I was describing an NIH-funded study by Cleveland Clinic scientists.
Reclaiming my time. You did not reference reclaiming my
published
time.
in USC.
Are y'all serious right now? Wasserman, you better chill.
The time is mine. I'm reclaiming it. Please ask the witness to stop talking.
You asked me a question.
Reclaiming.
Allow me to answer my question.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like about 10 seconds
back. You are slandering me incorrectly. You're saying it's dishonest.
Time belongs to the gentlelady from Florida.
Defend myself.
Mr.
Time
Chairman,
belongs to the gentlelady from Florida.
I'd like 15 seconds back.
We will be
Mr.
happy to
Chairman.
give you that.
Thank you so much. You did not cite any study like you are citing here now during that conversation. You referenced no study at all. You simply labeled Jews and Chinese people as a race, and you also said that somehow they managed to avoid a deadly illness that targets other groups for death. You don't see that? You're trying to rewrite history here. A few months ago, Mr. Kennedy, you compared COVID public health policies to barbaric murderous tactics of Nazi Germany, saying that Jewish people in Nazi Germany had more freedom than Americans facing COVID health restrictions. In hindsight, Mr. Kennedy, do you reject this absurd and deeply hurtful and harmful comparison, or do you still stand by it?
Congressman, what you are saying is a lie.
You said it.
No, I did not. I never continued.
Okay.
I never, ever
Mr. Chairman, I'm
compared
happy to enter
COVID
into the record when Mr. Kennedy said that. I reclaim my time. In discussing COVID public health measures, you made light of the genocide against
these lefties, bro.
Jewish people by saying, and I quote, even Hitler's Germany, you could cross the Alps to Switzerland, you could hide in an attic like Anne Frank did. Mr. Kennedy, do you think it was easy for Jewish people to escape systematic slaughter of Nazis, yes or no?
Absolutely.
What? She just gonna sit there and like talk reckless to him like that? They just putting words into his mouth? Yo, she need to be arrested, man.
Not.
Okay, good. Mr. Kennedy, do you think it was just as hard to wear a mask during COVID as it was to hide under floorboards or false walls so you weren't murdered or dragged to a concentration camp? Yes or no?
Excuse me?
That's a question, yes or no?
I didn't hear your question.
Okay. I said, do you think it was just as hard to wear a mask during COVID as it was to hide under floorboards or false walls so you weren't murdered or dragged to a concentration camp?
Of course not. That's ridiculous.
But that's a comparison that you made.
I did not make that.
Oh my God. Somebody said this is why Rush Limbaugh called her Debbie Blabbermouth. Man, I miss Rush Limbaugh, man. Like, he used to go crazy on people.
Were the measures taken to contain the spread and fatalities related to COVID in any way at all comparable to the murder of 6 million Jews, yes or no?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Let's be very clear here. There's no legitimate comparison to the Holocaust. It doesn't matter if you're talking about AI, vaccine mandates, or anything else. There is no comparison. And if this were a slip of the tongue, Mr. Kennedy, or a one-off comment, we would all move on. But there's a deeply disturbing pattern. In 2015, you apologized to all those, quote, whom I offended by my use of the word Holocaust to describe the autism epidemic. When discussing efforts to encourage others to get vaccinated for COVID-19, you said Nazis did that in the camps in World War II. They tested vaccines on gypsies and Jews. That was a quote. Like before, you apologized for invoking the Holocaust, saying...
Yo, I'm getting so mad right now, man.
Quote, to the extent my remarks caused hurt, I am truly and deeply sorry. These are not real statements of contrition or remorse. They are...
She is ridiculous. How was she even in, like... Oh.
Of aggressive non-apologies that blame the listener for reacting to the lie you just spread. I'm deeply saddened that this is a conversation we're having today. I have deep respect for what Mr. Kennedy's family did and still does to make life better for all Americans. But what you are doing now, Mr. Kennedy, and the forces you aligned yourself are reckless, dangerous, and disturbing by echoing dangerous claims such as, quote, Jews don't really suffer as much as we do, which you said. Your rhetoric creates a climate of mistrust, antagonism, and even hatred or violence against Jewish people. My own children have been the targets of brutal anti-Semitism on social media. You fan those flames and jeopardize their safety. You've marginalized other groups too, like Asian Americans and the LGBTQ plus community. And worse, you don't seem to care.
I mean, who's gonna like go up there and sit and just take a verbal thrashing and not even be able to defend yourself? This is a Kennedy she's doing this to.
Or brush it all off to miss.
Because, you know, like, he's not okay with what they've been doing.
Quotes and misunderstanding. Frankly, it's disgusting. Thank you for your indulgence, Mr. Chairman. I yield back the balance.
Mr. Chairman, I have unanimous consent request.
The gentleman from Kentucky is recognized for UC.
I ask unanimous consent to introduce into the record a study that Mr. Kennedy just referenced, new insights into genetic susceptibility of COVID-19. The main body said that they investigated genetic susceptibility to COVID-19 by examining DNA polymorphism in ACE2 and TMPRSS2. Those are receptors for COVID in 81,000 human genomes, and they found unique genetic susceptibility across different populations. I have another document that I'd like to ask unanimous consent
without objection
to submit, and this is from the FDA review of efficacy and safety of Pfizer-BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine. This is dated December 10th, 2020. And it shows that the Pfizer trial and the USDA broke down the effectiveness of the vaccine into 7 different racial categories, because this was also a concern of theirs, and it would frankly be delinquent not to study the effects across the
But Mr. Kennedy said it was bioengineered to target.
What I would say is that the founders and the framers of our Constitution knew that democracy was a very inefficient system, that it had all of these built-in inefficiencies and difficulties. They said that they felt that it would give us the one thing that would give us an advantage over totalitarian systems was this capacity for the free flow of information and the complete lack of control of debate, so that ideas that would eventually mature into policies would be annealed in a furnace of debate and then rise through the marketplace of ideas rather than being dictated from above. And that's what would give the energy, the vibrancy, the vigor to democracy. When they invented this democracy, we were the first one in the modern era in 1780. By 1865, 5 other nations had imitated us. Today, it's 190 nations based upon our system. We are supposed to be the exemplary democracy, and the corner foundation stone of our system is freedom of speech. All of the other freedoms depend on it. If we lose that, not only do we lose our democracy in this country, but the entire world loses us as an example.
Exactly. I couldn't have said it better. Now I recognize the gentleman from Kentucky.
Mr. Chairman, I have a unanimous consent.
Let me show y'all something. He understands what's going on with freedom of speech. I think my internet might be acting up. Yo, is the internet good? Y'all tell me what y'all think. Let me know what the internet is like. Shout out to y'all. Let me go to my likes and show y'all this. I think I got too many tabs on.
Senate request.
Gentleman, say a request.
As for unanimous consent to enter the record an article by the New York Times on July 20th, 2023, New York Post published Hunter Biden report amid newsroom doubts. As for unanimous consent.
Without objection. Some things amaze me. The gentleman from Kentucky is recognized, and this will be our last line of questioning.
One of the immutable and undeniable tenets of immunology is natural immunity. But for 2 years, it was denied. It wasn't even just denied, it was censored. Mr. Sauer, I noticed in the court ruling, in the case that you worked on, that they said that the court said that Facebook reported to the White House that it labeled and demoted posts suggesting natural immunity to a COVID-19
I'm about to get out of
infection
here.
is
Shout out
superior
to
vaccine
everybody.
immunity.
I'm like very mad that they just did that. This is ridiculous.